Have you ever wondered why solar eclipses happen and why they've captivated human imagination for centuries? There's something profoundly intriguing about solar eclipses. Throughout history, they've been viewed with a sense of awe, mystery, and in some cases even fear. These celestial events have a way of reminding us of our place in the cosmos, turning our attention to the skies and sparking our curiosity about the universe in which we live. The enigma of solar eclipses lies in their paradoxical nature. They are at once both predictable and surprising. We can calculate with precision when and where they will occur, yet experiencing one, witnessing the day turn to twilight, can still leave us in a state of wonder and amazement. So, what exactly is a solar eclipse? Simply put, it's a celestial ballet where the moon dances between the earth and the sun, temporarily blocking the sun's light. There are three types of solar eclipses: total, partial, and annular. In a total solar eclipse, the moon completely covers the sun's disk, while in a partial solar eclipse, the moon only partially obscures the sun. An annular solar eclipse, on the other hand, occurs when the moon is too far from the earth to completely cover the sun, leaving a bright ring or annulus visible around the moon. To understand the mechanics of a solar eclipse, imagine a line drawn from the sun to the earth. This is the line of sight. When the moon crosses this line, we experience a solar eclipse. However, because the moon's orbit around the earth is tilted, it doesn't always cross the line of sight when it's between the earth and the sun. That's why solar eclipses don't happen at every new moon. This dance of shadows and light has fascinated humans for centuries, sparking myths, inspiring scientific investigations, and even influencing historical events. Each solar eclipse is a unique spectacle that invites us to marvel at the mysteries of the cosmos and our place within it. As we unravel the mysteries of the solar eclipse, let's travel back in time to understand its history. Our journey begins in ancient China, where the earliest historical mention of solar eclipses was recorded. The Chinese civilization, with its deep-rooted fascination for celestial bodies, was among the first to record these celestial ballets. Their understanding, though wrapped in myth and folklore, laid the stepping stones to our present knowledge. In the heart of this ancient civilization, solar eclipses were viewed with a sense of awe and dread. They believed that a gigantic dragon was swallowing the sun, threatening the harmony of their world. The people would bang drums and pots and shoot arrows into the sky in a desperate attempt to scare away the mythical beast and rescue the sun. Intriguingly, their understanding didn't just end with folklore. Ancient Chinese astronomers were meticulous record keepers. They documented each eclipse, noting down its date, time, and the extent of the sun's obscuration. These records, some dating back to 2137 BC, can be found in the Chinese Book of Songs. These ancient records have immense scientific value even today. They provide us with a wealth of data on the sun's movement and the moon's orbit over millennia, enabling us to understand more precisely how these celestial bodies interact. It's fascinating to see how the Chinese interpretation of eclipses evolved over time. In the later periods, they began to see solar eclipses as celestial omens, signs from the heavens that could predict the fate of their emperors. This belief led to the practice of heavenly rites, where emperors would perform rituals to appease the celestial bodies during an eclipse. Looking at these ancient beliefs and practices, we can see how our understanding of solar eclipses has evolved, from attributing them to mythological creatures, to seeing them as omens, and finally, to understanding them as natural, predictable phenomena. Our comprehension of these celestial events has come a long way. From ancient China, our journey takes us to the ancient civilizations of the Middle East. There, we'll explore how their understanding of solar eclipses contributed to our collective knowledge. In the ancient Middle East, solar eclipses were seen as omens, influencing important decisions and events. These celestial events were considered so significant that they were meticulously documented in cuneiform on clay tablets. The Assyrians, a dominant civilization during the early Iron Age, had a particular fascination with solar eclipses. In their view, an eclipse was a message from the gods, often heralding a significant change or disaster. This belief prompted the Assyrians to develop a complex system of divination. They used these celestial events to predict events, from changes in the monarchy to wars and natural disasters. Moving on to the Babylonians, their understanding of solar eclipses was a bit more advanced. They are often credited with the earliest recorded observations of solar eclipses. The Babylonians didn't just see eclipses as divine signals, they began to predict them. One of the earliest solar eclipses recorded by the Babylonians took place in the year 1375 BC. This impressive achievement was the result of their sophisticated mathematical methods and their diligent record keeping. They observed, documented, and studied each eclipse, gradually learning to forecast when the next one would occur. However, these predictions weren't always accurate. The Babylonians' understanding of the mechanics of solar eclipses was limited by their knowledge of the universe. They believed that the earth was flat and that the sun moved around it. Yet, despite these misconceptions, their observations and records have provided a valuable foundation for our modern understanding of solar eclipses. So, while the Middle East might be renowned today for its rich oil reserves and vibrant cultures, let's not forget its contribution to the annals of astronomy. The ancient civilizations of this region were among the first to turn their eyes to the skies, seeking to understand and document the marvels they witnessed. From the Middle East, we move to the classical civilizations of Greece and Rome as we delve further into the history of solar eclipses. We'll see how each civilization added to the collective understanding of these awe-inspiring celestial events. The ancient Greeks and Romans had a more scientific understanding of solar eclipses. This statement might surprise some, but the truth is, these ancient societies were far more advanced in their astronomical knowledge than we often give them credit for. The Greeks, in particular, held a deep fascination for celestial occurrences. Their comprehension of the solar eclipse was a complex mix of science, mathematics, and philosophy. One of the most notable figures in this regard was Thales of Miletus, a pre-Socratic philosopher and mathematician who is often hailed as the father of science. Thales is famous for accurately predicting a solar eclipse in 585 BC, a feat that was nothing short of miraculous in an era devoid of modern scientific tools. This prediction was not a result of divine intervention or mystical foresight. Rather, it was a testament to Thales' understanding of the celestial mechanics. He recognized that the sun, moon, and earth moved in predictable patterns, and this knowledge allowed him to foresee the eclipse. Meanwhile, the Romans were not far behind in their astronomical prowess. They too observed and documented solar eclipses, using these celestial events to fine-tune their calendar system. They understood that a solar eclipse occurred when the moon passed between the earth and the sun, obscuring the latter's light. This understanding was far ahead of its time, and it laid the groundwork for future astronomical discoveries. The Greeks and Romans were not just passive observers of these celestial events. They used their knowledge to explore the universe, and in doing so, they laid the foundation for our modern understanding of astronomy. Their scientific approach to understanding solar eclipses was a significant leap forward in human knowledge. It was a clear departure from the fear and superstition that had dominated earlier societies, and it marked a significant milestone in our journey to comprehend the universe. From Greece and Rome, we leap forward to the Middle Ages. The story of solar eclipses, like the celestial bodies themselves, is constantly moving, always evolving. So, let's continue this journey through time as we uncover the mysteries of the universe, one solar eclipse at a time. In the Middle Ages, solar eclipses were often seen as portents of doom. This was an era where science was cloaked in mystery and superstition, and celestial events such as solar eclipses were perceived through a lens of fear and awe. The medieval European populace, much like their ancestors and counterparts across the world, held a deep-seated belief that solar eclipses were omens of impending disaster. This perspective was not entirely unfounded, considering their limited understanding of the universe and the seemingly inexplicable phenomenon of the sun being swallowed by darkness in the middle of the day. One of the most notable instances of this belief was the solar eclipse of 1133. As the day turned into an unexpected night, whispers of dread filled the air. The eclipse was seen as a bad omen for King Henry I of England, who was embarking on a perilous sea journey at the time. The fear was not entirely misplaced, as King Henry passed away later that year, cementing the eclipse's reputation as a harbinger of doom in the minds of the people. However, it wasn't all doom and gloom. Some medieval scholars sought to understand these celestial events rather than fear them. Monks and scribes would record the occurrence of eclipses, noting details about their duration and the time of year. These records, while rudimentary, were the humble beginnings of a more scientific approach to understanding solar eclipses. Despite the fear and superstition, the Middle Ages was a period of transition. The recorded observations of solar eclipses during this time laid the groundwork for future understanding, slowly peeling away the layers of superstition to reveal the scientific truths beneath. The Middle Ages represented a time when humanity was caught between fear and curiosity, between old beliefs and new discoveries. And it's through this lens that we can begin to appreciate the journey we've taken in understanding solar eclipses. From the Middle Ages, we move to the age of discovery and enlightenment. During the Enlightenment, scientific understanding of solar eclipses advanced significantly. This era, spanning the 17th and 18th centuries, was a period of intellectual and scientific revolution. It was a time when the mysteries of the universe once cloaked in superstition and myth, began to unravel under the scrutiny of empirical science. One of the key figures who contributed immensely to this understanding was Johannes Kepler. Kepler, a German mathematician, astronomer, and astrologer, is perhaps best known for his laws of planetary motion. His work laid the foundation for a deeper understanding of the movements of celestial bodies, including the moon and the sun, which are critical to predicting solar eclipses. Kepler's first law, which posits that planets move in elliptical orbits around the sun, contradicted the previously held belief that orbits were perfect circles. His second law, often referred to as the law of equal areas, described the speed at which planets travel at different points in their orbit. His third law, the harmonic law, established a relationship between the time a planet takes to orbit the sun and its average distance from the sun. These laws, collectively, provided a more accurate model for predicting the occurrence of solar eclipses. Then came Sir Isaac Newton, the English physicist and mathematician, whose monumental work, Philosophia Naturalis Principia Mathematica, revolutionized our understanding of the world and the universe. Newton's theory of universal gravitation explained why the planets move as Kepler's laws suggest. He proposed that every object in the universe attracts every other object with a force that is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between their centers. This theory was integral in understanding the dynamics of solar eclipses. The Enlightenment brought about a shift from mystical explanations of natural phenomena to a scientific understanding based on observation, experimentation, and reason. This intellectual revolution fostered a new era of discovery and understanding that would forever change how we perceive our world and the cosmos. From the Enlightenment, we move to the modern age. In the modern age, we have come to fully understand and predict solar eclipses. This understanding, as we now know, as a result of centuries of observations, calculations, and a deepening comprehension of our solar system's complex mechanics. Modern science has allowed us to unravel the mystery of solar eclipses. We now comprehend that a solar eclipse occurs when the moon's orbit brings it directly between the Earth and the sun. This alignment casts a shadow on our planet, creating an awe-inspiring spectacle for those lucky enough to be within its path. The moon's orbit isn't a perfect circle, but an ellipse, and the moon's distance from the Earth can vary. When the moon is further away, it appears smaller and doesn't completely cover the sun, resulting in an annular eclipse. But when the moon is closer to us, it can fully block out the sun, leading to a total solar eclipse. Technology has played a pivotal role in our understanding and appreciation of these celestial events. With the advent of telescopes, computers, and even spacecraft, we've been able to study eclipses in ways our ancestors could only dream of. Sophisticated software can now predict when and where an eclipse will occur, down to the exact second and location. Today, we can capture stunning images and videos of solar eclipses, allowing us to study them long after they've passed. Satellites and space probes give us a vantage point that was unimaginable just a few decades ago. We can observe solar eclipses from above the Earth's atmosphere, free from weather and light pollution, providing us with an unrivaled clarity and depth of understanding. Moreover, global communication networks enable us to share these experiences and discoveries with people around the world, fostering a global sense of wonder and curiosity about our universe. In essence, the modern mastery over solar eclipses is a testament to human curiosity and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. It's a reflection of how far we've come and a reminder of the mysteries that still await us in the cosmos. Now that we've journeyed through the history of solar eclipse, let's summarize what we've learned. Solar eclipses have captivated human imagination throughout history. They've been enigmatic enigmas, divine omens, scientific puzzles, and today they're still a source of wonder and a fascinating spectacle that draws millions of eyes upward. We have journeyed together through the annals of time, tracing the understanding of these celestial events from the earliest civilizations to the modern day. We've seen how solar eclipses have been perceived and interpreted differently across cultures and eras. From fear and superstition in the ancient world to the dawn of comprehension in the Middle East, the classical understanding in Greece, the misconceptions of the medieval times, and finally, the era of enlightenment that led us to our current mastery of this astronomical phenomenon. But despite our scientific understanding, solar eclipses continue to fascinate us, don't they? There's something inherently awe-inspiring about watching the moon pass before the sun, casting a shadow that momentarily turns day into night. The sight of the sun's corona, visible only during a total solar eclipse, is a reminder of the majestic and dynamic nature of our closest star. Indeed, solar eclipses are not just historical or scientific curiosities. They're also opportunities for us to come together as a global community, united in our shared curiosity and sense of wonder. They remind us of our place in the cosmos, showing us that we are part of a larger, grander universe, and the story of solar eclipses is far from over. As our technology advances, we continue to learn more about the sun, the moon, and the intricate dance they perform that results in these spectacular events. Future eclipses will no doubt yield more insights and perhaps even challenge our current understanding. As we continue to gaze at the skies, who knows what new discoveries await us in the future? The solar eclipse, a celestial ballet of the sun, the moon, and the earth, will continue to captivate us, to inspire us, and to remind us of the wonders of the universe we inhabit.